Sweet Baby Inc. is just the most recent permutation of a problem that has been festering within video games since in on and around, probably a little bit before, but really came to the forefront in 2014 with the original Gamergate. They aren't a new coalition of talent, and hell, Kim Belair has been working her magic in the industry for about as long. I think she was working at Ubisoft up to, and maybe even later than 2014, but she was definitely there at that point in time, and hell, she was using that as, well, that was the basis for her experience as to why, if you aren't getting what you want, you need to go to your departments, you need to go to your studio's marketing team, and you need to terrify them if you don't get what you want. Well, when they first rose to prominence, either at the tail end of 2023 with Alan Wake 2, or at the beginning of 24 with people asking the question, why is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League so hateful, stupid, poorly written, and just otherwise awful? Well, people started to familiarize themselves with Sweet Baby Inc., asking, well, what exactly do they do? Why do they keep on getting all of this work from all of these big budget studios? And the way that they presented themselves was, oh guys, don't worry about it. We're just a small narrative consulting team, okay? Even though they were telling you on all of their big releases exactly what they were doing, and you could piece one and one together in order to come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, they're just race grifters, and that's all that they want to do. Race and, feminist grifters. That's about it. Throwing a dash of Marxism. But otherwise, they don't really come in to improve a game. They just come in to check the requisite number of diversity boxes in order for studios, big budget AAA studios, in order to get some of that sweet ESG money. But now that all of that money ended up drying up, well, now they're finding themselves without the proper avenue in order to get the exposure that they require, and they have since been reduced to, well, kind of indie titles, and every single one of them has been an unmitigated disaster. And some of the more recent ones, before we get to this article right here about them just finally coming forward and saying exactly what they've done for the games that they have worked on. Well, we have most recently, the Hyperlight Breaker, the sequel, or another installment in the Hyperlight franchise, because you got Hyperlight Drifter that first came out, and that ended up getting pretty good reviews. But as for Breaker here, yeah, it's going to be ending development in January. A developer Heart Machine to undergo more layoffs. In the last 24 hours, the game only had a peak concurrent player of just, 22 players, and even when it all started out, 5,200 players for a sequel to a game that was very well regarded. Not great at all. Not great at all. And yeah, Hyperlight Breaker developers ending development and laying off staff. Yeah, exactly. And you can't even say that, oh my god, they did their quintessential SBI shtick by taking an established franchise and then just morphing their aesthetic to their own proclivities. But yeah, if you just take a passing look at this, you would say, oh no, that totally makes sense for the Hyperlight series, and that's kind of what they look at. But then you look closer at this and it's like, okay, cool, you got an obese fox, you got this androgynous looking furry with a tail, and then you've got the most masculine thing that's there, that's obviously a chick, or I don't know, man, maybe those are some small bolt-ons in order to join into the 42% brigade. Or, of course, you've got Henry Halfhead as Gamers Boycott due to Sweet Baby Inc. Connection titles concurrent player count plummets, because, yeah, you take a look here. You got Sweet Baby Inc. They have yet to come back, and probably never will, to come back on Twitter, but they're out there exposing themselves to the world over there on Blue Sky, because of course they have. It's been incredible to see how much love for Henry Halfhead, and we're really excited about the wonderful Lulu team. Sure, we feel so lucky to have helped them bring their vision and their Henry to life. And if you're looking for something sweet and creative and full of heart to play this weekend, well, apparently they're not playing Henry Halfhead as 44p players. Holy shit. It's like actually worse than Dustborn, Tales of the Shire, Flintlock, oh my god, what was the other one that was distributed by Bandai Namco? The Indian chick that looked obviously like a Prince of Persia clone. God, all of these are just infected by SBI, and then they all just fail spectacularly, yeah, with double-digit player counts, and we're talking about all-time, as well as, yeah, peak 24, and then, if you're lucky, that's players right now. But yeah, we're so happy everybody wanted to play that. Maybe that's actually what's going on over there at Blue Sky. There's literally 44 people over there paying attention to this shit. But man, SBI is cancer. It will kill your studio. It will kill your game stone dead. So yes, now that you have Kim Belair finally admits Sweet Baby Inc.'s real role in AAA gaming while railing against critics, we did nothing wrong. No, clearly you did. Clearly you did. Because everything that is not God of War Ragnarok, and you can take a look at some of the metrics and see that it doesn't quite shape up to 2018, that one's still a success. Spider-Man 2, Same thing, but there is a noticeable drop-off from the original Spider-Man. Full stop, 100%, both in sales, both in player retention, and both in overall reception. You are a cancer on project. So for years, Sweet Baby Inc. has maintained that it functions as a narrative consultancy, a company that advises studios on inclusive storytelling. But in August of 2025 discussion, Belair described her team's direct creative involvement in games like Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Alan Wake 2, there we go, as something that goes far beyond simple narrative consultation. According to Belair, her staff worked on the narrative beats and story and character work, there you go, for both projects, including key storylines involving Kraven and Harry Osborn. Side note, okay, remember in that game, nobody does, when Harry tells Peter that he installed a diverse board at their new startup to keep us on the right track. Why the fuck would Harry say that to Peter, and why the fuck would he care? Anyways, that admission alone contradicts Sweet Baby Inc.'s long-held claim that they only provide consultation, not hands-on development or authorship. As Writing Raven noted in her coverage, Belair's statements quietly confirmed what many gamers had suspected all along, that Sweet Baby Inc., of course, is not merely offering input from the sidelines, it's shaping the creative hearts of modern AAA games. When pressed about the backlash, here we go. From players and journalists, Belair opted a defensive tone. There are thousands of videos about us. I've made quite a few, but of those people, none has written to us to say, hey, can I just ask a couple of questions about how this works? Well, to be completely honest, I would imagine there are probably some investigative journalism out there. I'm just simply using, and always have, just use your own words against you. Sucks to suck, I guess. This claim doesn't hold up to scrutiny. Multiple creators, including Smash JT, yes, have publicly documented attempts to contact Sweet Baby Inc. that were ignored. Yeah, because after you were really exposed, I'm pretty sure it was after Suicide Squad, you locked down your Twitter. I think you put some verification, you put something on your website. Then it wasn't long after that you just simply decided to scrub all of your partners and the work that you claim to have done on a lot of the projects that you were affiliated with. And so, yes, this highlighted during Gothic Therapy livestream, with Raven calling it a rewriting of public record. Yes, the inconsistency reinforced a growing perception that Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't want engagement, it wants compliance. Exactly. Belair went on to describe the creative process as a battlefield, okay, encouraging developers to fight for their baby. Her phrase for personal ideas, even when they conflict with the game's established direction. Yeah, because when you come into a project, somebody else's project that tens, hundreds, thousands of people could theoretically have worked on, and in the case of your more prominent games, those latter numbers are definitely not out of the realm of possibility. You're not there to help out, you're there to hijack. So for critics, that remark perfectly encapsulated the issues. Rather, Sweet Baby Inc. consultants aren't merely assisting, they're embedding their personal and ideological perspectives into someone else's project. Later in the discussion, Belair offered a sweeping defense of her company's work. When people fight against wokeness, they're really doing this fighting against progressivism, and in a way, fighting against themselves. My god, this is as stupid as the socialist, oh, you live in a society, huh? Fucking stupid meme. Oh my god, I hate it all. I hate it all so much. They're dumb people, man. The statement, equal parts defiant and dismissive, quickly made its way around social media, further fueling debate about the ideological slant of Kim Belair and Sweet Baby Inc. projects. We did nothing wrong. Belair insists we did our jobs the best we could. Well, if that's true, okay, even though I don't believe you as far as I can throw you, let's just take it at face value here. If you think that what you have done for any of the projects that you have worked on is your best work, there's a reason why you are finding yourselves with an increasing lack of opportunities. Because if the best work that you could provide is some of the character work that you did for Spider-Man 2, is some of the narrative work, some of the writing work that you did for one of the most atrocious scripts in gaming that I have ever witness with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, well, that's more of an indictment than any of your lies that have been exposed in the recent years ever could. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.